Welcome to a National Signing Day special edition of SVSU Athletics. My name is JJ Boehm, joined by SVSU head football coach Jim Collins. And Coach, first of all, there's always a lot of excitement on National Signing Day. Here at SVSU today we had a little added excitement because we had a weather delay. Weren't sure what was going to happen. But how are you feeling now, towards the end of the day with most of your NLIs having come through so far?
Feeling great, JJ, really. The day started out where we had a delay here, and then, a lot of these guys that we signed, they didn't have school today, so they didn't have the chance to go into school and work the fax machine, and but we still got the NLIs. I thought they did a great job of adjusting. We did a great job of adjusting, and so far so good. The two we're waiting on are two that we know are coming in within the next 30 minutes, so we're feeling really good about this class.
And getting into that class, first of all, what were some of the priorities that you were looking for overall in terms of what you wanted to add to the SVSU Cardinal program?
Sure. Well, every year it's the same, JJ, in terms of the type of people we're looking for. We're looking for guys that are high-character individuals. That's really important for us, and that's why it's really critical that you have a coaching staff that does a great job of recruiting. And I thought our staff did a great job of finding guys that fit what we're looking for at Saginaw Valley. High character, guys that we know can compete in the classroom, and then obviously guys that are going to make a difference on the playing field. And once again, I really appreciate all the hard work. Recruiting a football class isn't something that just happens in a couple weeks or a couple months. It's something that goes back to last March, where you start going to camps and combines, and then you get in the schools in the spring, and you talk to coaches, you see the kids over the summer at camps, you bring them on campus for games, and then in the winter you have an opportunity to work them out. And so that whole process is pretty exhaustive, in a lot of ways, but I thought our staff did a great job, and we've identified some really good players, and we got some really good players, and we're excited about it. Specifically from a need standpoint for our football program, I thought we needed speed at the skill position. That was a necessity in this recruiting class. I thought we needed depth on the O-line. We graduate a lot of O-linemen after next season. We needed to go out and get a bunch of O-linemen. Having guys on the defensive side of the ball that can run to the football, are athletic at all three levels. I think we satisfied those needs. I look at our D-line that we brought in, a lot of athletic players, explosive players, guys that are physical and strong. The guys at the second level, linebackers, I think maybe the most athletic group in terms of the total number that I can remember. And I thought last year's class was really good, and I thought this year we did an exceptional job. And then in the secondary, we needed a couple guys that could play corner and can cover people. We needed some safeties, and we hit the mark on those guys.
Well, getting into the class, obviously able to talk about those whose national letters of intent have been received as of the time that we're recording this. And again, there's others who, may be coming on as preferred walk-ons and those kinds of things that, won't be addressed at this time. But starting first on the defensive side of the ball, what were some of the priorities there, and talk about some of the players that you're bringing in starting on the defensive line?
Sure. Go out and we play a 4-3, so you need defensive tackles that are big and strong, but they also have to be able to get penetration on a consistent basis. And the other thing is they've got to be able to run. And Azante Burks, Vic Nelson, two guys that I think are really prototypical of that type of skill set. Azante is from Beecher. Vic is from Detroit Central. Both of them are very explosive, extremely strong, and we're excited about the two of them. The other two guys that we have on the edge, we went to Ohio. We got Andrew McClellan. He played at Camp McKinley High School, which is one of the historically great high schools in as far as high school football in the state of Ohio. And Andrew, more of an outside linebacker and defensive end, but he's got great length. Great pass rusher, great edge guy, physical. We're excited about him. And then J. Javante Reed out of Eisenhower down in Utica. And that's going to be a theme, talking about Eisenhower today. But, J. Javante, same type of thing. Very skilled pass rusher, great edge player, great hands, quickness, athleticism, and really excited about those four guys. And we've got a guy that's a linebacker by trade so far in Leonard Henry, played at Grand Blanc in this recruiting class, and we've got him listed as a linebacker, but he's a long body, 6'3", 6'4" guy that we know can be an exceptional defensive end as well.
And so transitioning then to linebackers, again, he's one of the guys listed right now as a linebacker. Could see where he fits best down the road. But
Sure.
Talk about the linebacker class also.
Exceptional. Let's start with Micah Kretzinger out of Jackson. Big, he's 220 pounds right now, and we were clocking him at 4'7", 4'8", extremely athletic. And I'll tell you how athletic he is. He was playing safety for him. And, he's a big body. He's a guy that in this league, it will be no problem for him to put 5 or 10 more pounds on and really be a force at linebacker. Jack Shrieve is a local product out of Millington. His dad played here. Similar body type, 6'3", 6'4", runs really well, physical, also played running back in high school, extremely athletic. And with that type of speed, when you're talking 4'6", 4'7", like those two guys, you got some guys that will be able to run in the football. The other guy that Chase Sager played at Edwardsburg, that's a program that's been in 2 straight state championship games. Chase played running back and linebacker at Edwardsburg, and I thought, in terms of the things we were looking for, fit every single one of them. A little bit undersized at this point, but I trust our off-season program and our strength coach that we're going to get him up to this type of size he needs to be in order to play linebacker in the GLIAC. The other guy, Alfred Daly, we got out of Toledo Catholic Central, was a safety. Another big guy that can run, and his skill set's got outside linebacker written all over it, and that's a traditional powerhouse in Ohio. Once again, going and getting guys that come from good programs in the state of Ohio is always a good thing, and we're really excited about Alfred making that switch from safety to linebacker, and we think he's going to fit in our scheme really well.
And then obviously you brought in a number of people at the back end of your defense as well.
Well, we were looking for length and coverage skills at the corner position. And we brought in Josh Ohiku from Lincoln Way East, very strong program in the state of Illinois. And Josh is one of those guys that has a lot of talent. He's got the size and the strength and the physicality to not just be a great cover corner, but to be a guy that's going to come up and hit you in the run game. So really excited about Josh. And excited to bring a guy in from that program, because year in and year out, that's a program that either is in the state finals, wins the state championship, or goes really deep. So it's good to have Josh in the program. The other guy we brought in at the defensive back position is Harold Sims. And Harold Sims is from the state of Florida. He's from the Fort Lauderdale area. We're excited about it because, when you go down to Florida, what you get is you get guys that have great speed. And we're excited about Harold. And I'll tell you, the interesting thing about Harold, JJ, is Harold was up on his official visit the week we had all that cold weather and the winter storm. And we thought that if there was ever a time to bring a guy up from Florida, that was probably the worst time. And yet Harold's still committed because he's our type of guy and we're his type of school.
And then obviously you've got some guys bringing in at the safety spot as well in the secondary.
And that's one of the areas where we really felt like we had to get some guys that were strong in that capacity because of Dylan Dixon, losing him, and some other guys that are going to be growing up in that secondary. So we brought in Ty Tiggs from Mayfield High School in the state of Ohio. Once again, just everything you're looking for. He's got length, he's physical, he's about 200 pounds. He's a 4'6" guy, so he can run, and great instincts, natural athletic ability. Really excited about Ty. Colton Alexander is the other safety we brought in, and Colton is the son of the head coach at Grand Blanc, Clint Alexander. And once again, when you bring coaches' sons in to play those type of positions like safety, you're looking for a quarterback of the defense, and that's what we saw in Colton. Just a really smart player, made a lot of plays. And was a leader for that football team. So I think defensively we did a great job of addressing needs. And I still think at the same time, there's a few more guys out there that we're looking at on the defensive side of the ball that will really solidify this class even more.
Obviously, recruiting a never-ending part of the job.
Absolutely.
Talking about it on National Signing Day because a whole bunch comes in at once, but I know that's a never-ending part of the job. And then moving on to the offensive side of the football, again, bringing in people at every level, starting at quarterback.
Well, Michael Horo from Boardman High School in the Youngstown area in Ohio was someone that we were targeting back in April. We first got his film back in April. I talked to a lot of people in that area, and they really liked him. He had a great senior year. And the thing that I think there's two things that really got me excited about Michael Horo. Number one, everybody in that area talked about how tough he is. And, if you talk to opposing coaches, that stood out. Obviously he can make plays with his feet, he can make plays with his arm, but his toughness is his I think his greatest attribute. Right now he's ranked in the top 10 in the state of Ohio in wrestling, and it's a Division I school. So he's a tough kid, but he's also a great leader. And that's the other thing, from talking to his high school coach, from talking to players on their team, he was the leader. He was the strong force in terms of personalities and leading by example, and that's the type of guy you want as a quarterback. So I think, Mike's a great fit, and we've got a quarterback that's going to graduate after next season, and we've got a few more in our program, and I think Mike's going to be in a great position to start competing, when he gets here. So really excited about Mike. At the running backs position, we brought two guys in that, the big word with both of them is speed. Dante Barthwell is out of Westland John Glenn, and he was phenomenal when we tested him, and his highlights, I think, just validate that speed. He's extremely deceptive. I think he's the type of player we can use, as a pass receiver. We can run jet sweeps with him, and he can play in the backfield for us. So he's a really dimensional player, and we're excited about getting him. The other Eisenhower player, Kaleb Oyster, and the great thing about Kaleb is we've really gotten to know him because he's been up here about 5 times in the last 6 weeks, because he's also a great track athlete. And we host a lot of track meets here on campus, and we've had a chance to see him run, and he's another guy that can fly. He's extremely explosive. He's big, he's muscular, he's physical, and I think he's a great combination of being a guy that can hit the home run for you, but also a guy that's going to grind it out and get tough yards. So we're really excited about Kaleb.
And then bringing in, as you said, a big crop on the offensive line as well.
Well, yes, 2 of them are Eisenhower kids, Christoph Barron and Zach Petkoff. And both of them are kind of on the opposite ends of the extreme when it comes to body types. Christoph is long and lean, and he will be a great benefactor by what we do in the off-season with our nutrition and our strength program. And Zach Petkoff's a big, strong, stocky, muscular guy. And obviously, one's going to play tackle. Christoph's more of a tackle, and Zach's more of a guard. But physical players, and they've played for a great program. And we've got such a connection down there. And the offensive coordinator down there is John DeGiorgio, and we know John. He speaks very well of all 4 of the Eisenhower guys. But we're excited about those guys. Jack Koosman, we went to the state of Wisconsin and got Jack Koosman, and he's from the Green Bay area. He's long, he's about 6'6", extremely athletic, another guy that we think is going to be a great edge guy. Whether he plays the blind side or whether he's on the right side, it's hard to say right now, but what you want is at the edge is playing offensive tackle for you is guys that are long and guys that can move their feet, and he fits that bill. Avery Eastman, another big guy. We're not sure yet where Avery's going to play, whether he's going to play guard, whether he's going to play center. He can definitely do both. He's physical. We're excited about Avery. And the one thing that stands out, I think, about Avery is just, for his size, what his frame and what we can do and how he's going to develop. He's got a tremendous upside, and those are the things you get excited about. Joe Schnorberger comes to us from Monroe, was a center, was a first-team All-State center. Really we thought it was really important for us to get a center in this class. We're going to graduate a couple guys that have experience, and that's the toughest position to play when you're running the shotgun. I really believe that. To make all the calls, to get that shotgun snap back there on a consistent basis, and then still to do all the things in the zone game and the gap game that we have to do as well as protections. You need a guy that's got experience, and Joe's definitely got that. And then the last guy is Mike Sarabin, 6'6", 280. I think he's a guy that can play guard or tackle for us, moves his feet really well, extremely athletic. Mike's from Dowagiac, and excited about all these guys. And Michael's one of those guys that immediately you look at him and you don't think he's got to develop much because he already looks like a college offensive lineman. But obviously, with the things we do to develop our guys, he's only going to get better.
And then bringing in a number of players at the wide receiver spot as well.
Great speed at this position. Starting with Martise Bunting, played at Chippewa Valley. They won the state championship. Martise had a big role in what they were able to do offensively. Explosive player, big play player. played both ways, played corner for him, so I think it shows you, he's a tough kid, and he's got great hands, I think he's very polished, and he's only 17 years old, and that's what you want to see. You want to see guys that have an upside, especially at our level, because I think we do a great job of developing guys. So excited about Martise and ready to get to work with a guy that he knows what it takes to win championships. Devin French from St. Joe's, west side of the state. Had a great season, very athletic, came in here, ran a 4.5 for us. That's the type of speed that championship teams are built around when it comes to your wide receiver. So Devin's a basketball player. He's got great hands, great ball skills. Once again, I would say with all the wideouts we're bringing in, Devin included, their biggest goal when they get here is just going to be to hit that weight room hard and put some muscle on and become college football players. Because right now we know they can run, they can catch, but it's that durability factor, that ability to win matchups against corners, and that happens, with doing the things you got to do in the weight room. Keandre Glass is from Battle Creek Central, and once again, same type of an athlete, long, fast. Once again, another guy that was a 4.5, 4.6 guy, great ball skills. And I think when you go to Battle Creek Central, and I throw this out, you've got coaches there like Mike McClenny, who's an alum, that can have an impact on helping these guys make decisions when they talk about their experience that they had here at Saginaw Valley. So I think that was instrumental in helping Keandre decide that this was a school for him. And we really like Keandre. We love his skill set, and we're excited about him. The last guy on the list right now is Jerry Tucker from Martin Luther King High School. And, what better program in the state of Michigan, when you start talking about the top programs, especially over the last 10 years, they're one of them. And Jerry, not as big as the other guys, only about 5'8", 5'9", 160, 165, but he's really polished. He's got great hands, and he can run too. He can flat out fly. And, he's probably going to play a slot receiver for us, another guy that we can use running jet sweeps and stuff like that. And once again, I think, you play in that program down there, you're going to be tough. You may not be as big as other guys, but you're going to be tough, and that's what we saw in Jerry.
And you've got one other person who's already joined the program, came in as a junior college transfer mid-year, who's going to help out on special teams.
We went the junior college route to look for a long snapper. We graduated Mike Alexander from last year, JJ, and we really didn't have a guy that was experienced in our program, and we found Jonathan Perry. And we were really excited about Jonathan. He had a few other offers, but we sold him on all the benefits of Saginaw Valley, what we have to offer here academically, and he jumped at the opportunity. And he's just getting rolling with our off-season program. He's starting to fit in really well, and we're excited about Jonathan being in the program.
You've already mentioned a couple of Cardinal football alumni who obviously are part of the process. You mentioned John DeGiorgio at Eisenhower and Mike McClenny at Battle Creek Central. You've got a Mark Miller at Westland John Glenn. You've got a Lenny Dantine at Millington. How much does it help to have that network of SVSU alumni out there as part of the recruiting process?
It helps a ton. I mean, I can't say enough for those guys and all the help we got from those guys in the recruiting process. And I think more than anything, they validate what this school is all about. When you as a high school player look up to your coach as a mentor, as a father figure, as someone that's been instrumental in your development, and then that person's from Saginaw Valley and has great things to say about our university and our program, I think it validates everything we're doing here, and it validates everything that Saginaw Valley and the education you get here stands for.
And obviously now, one chapter closes and another begins, but some closing thoughts now as you think about this class of new Cardinals coming in.
Well, every year we say the same things. There are going to be guys that come in and surprise us and play right away and contribute right away. There's going to be other guys that it takes a little bit longer for them to develop. But I feel very confident that these are the type of young men that Saginaw Valley as an institution is going to benefit. We're extremely excited about them. They're going to represent our university well, and we're looking forward to working with them and helping them become better over the next 4 to 5 years.
Well, Jim Collins, thank you for joining us, and good luck in developing all of these young men in your SVSU football program.
Thanks, JJ.
And we want to thank all of you for joining us for this 2019 National Signing Day special at Saginaw Valley State University.